Hello, good evening.
Good
This is
evening.
your team here again. Um, Today we are going to be talking about youth and electioneering process in Nigeria. So we have on our team Mr. Gilpin. Say hello to your audience, please.
Hello, good evening, all.
Okay, and we have there's Joy Ihunda. Could you please say hello to the audience, please?
Hello, people. Welcome to another interesting edition of the YouthVoice Ambassadors program.
Okay, thank you so much. So, just a highlight. We have another speaker who is also having who is having, not also actually, who is having some technical issues, and we want you to bear with us. And I promise you, this program is going to be one of the best we've ever, been involved with. So please, um, relax, enjoy yourself, and while you listen to us. So, Mr. Gilpin
Yeah,
has been a broadcaster and also a one-time contestant for the president's position for Ijo Youth Council. And our sister Jo is a lab scientist. And we also have an engineer who is coming in anytime soon. So hope you enjoy our program today. And just in case you have any question, feel free to hit in. So feel free to log in your question in the platform. Our IT team will be there to respond to us. So I'm going to introduce Engineer Frebo right now again. He wasn't there initially, so he's an engineer. He works with youth, and they all have lots of information for us today. So the floor is open for Mr. Gilpin.
all right. Thank you very much. I want to sincerely use this medium to thank the Youth Voice Ambassadors for giving us this platform to um, express our experiences and to also motivate the youth to get themselves involved in the politics of Nigeria. As an opening statement, I would love to start by saying that Nigeria is the giant of Africa and has enormous human and material resources. However, it is a known fact to all of us that since independence and up till this moment, our leaders have got it really wrong in terms of leadership and good governance. And so, as youth, to my mind, we need to realize that we have more life to live than our present leaders at this moment, who has tagged us with the slogan that the youth are the future leaders of tomorrow. It is therefore my belief that as youth, we need to guide our future jealously by checking the activities of our present leaders sincerely. If we don't do that, if we don't do that, it will hurt us. Our actions and inactions, sincerely, will haunt us if we don't do the needful. And so I am of the belief that we need to put more energy on seeking for good governance, seeking for a leadership, a visionary leadership, rather than being used as instrument of violence and thuggery. Going to the topic of the day, youth and electioneering process. The key element that I see in this topic is youth and electioneering process. What is an electioneering process? What is an election? Who is a youth in Nigeria? That we need to really look into it properly. And if given the time, I would like to start with the election, so to say. An election in Nigeria is a process of selecting or even recruiting leaders who would rather one day come up to take control of the government of the day. It is also an instrument of shaping our society. It is also a decision-making process in our polity, you know. And so electionary process needs the involvement of youth. And today, our youth are being used differently, so to say. Let me start also go to say that in Nigeria, for instance, we have three phases of election that the youths are usually involved in. What we are doing here is really to encourage the youths and to say that at every point in time, the youth in Nigeria should be well equipped to join in the politics of today, in the politics of Nigeria, in the running of Nigeria. And so in an electionary process, we have three phases in Nigeria. We have the pre-election that has to do with delimitation, voters registration, political parties registration, nomination of political campaign, nomination of candidates, processes, campaign, media and civil education processes. We also have, in all of these, the youths are involved. However, it is so saddening that at this moment, youth are being involved in the wrong reasons. Youths are not encouraged to register when they are at the age of registration to register. And so at the end of the day, in decision making, we are left at the back seat, which I believe that this program will definitely help us address. As we go on further, we will realize that the youth in our society is very, very key to getting to us a good government, a visionary leadership in the nation of Nigeria. Also, apart from the pre-election phase, we also have the election proper. I'm sure we all know that during election, our youth are not properly engaged. For some of us who are engaged, are used for political thuggery, which we stand here to stand against. And so I believe that at the end of this program, we are going to re-engineer our youth to get a change of heart, to be able to be part of something that we the society wants them to be. Finally, we also have the post-election process, phases of our electioneering process that has to do with announcement and the things that come further, which is disputes and all of that. I believe that taking a good narrative or processes, we will get it right. As we go on further, we are going to look at the negative effect of youth involvement in Nigeria politics. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. That was really a wonderful one. You that was really wonderful. Giving us a definition of election youth and how they've been, involved in the three stages: pre, main, and post. So we're looking forward to hearing more from you. So at this point, we want to invite our sister, Joy Ihunda, to tell us more, speak more on what she has on youths and electioneering process in Nigeria. Hello. Hello. Okay, while our sister Joy is getting ready, can we invite Engineer Efrebo to the stage, please?
Very good evening,
Thank
my
you,
colleague,
Peace.
and yes,
Thank
and
you, Honorable Peace.
okay,
Once
Okay.
again, I want to say thank you for the opportunity to be on this platform. Um, I'll start by saying election is a decision-making process. Hello,
Proceed.
yeah,
We
we're
can
with
hear
you.
you.
Go on.
I'm here.
I think she's having some sort of network issue. Um, so while we're waiting for her to get on with the technical issue sorted, we want to invite our brother, Engineer Efrebo, on the stage, please.
Thank you very much, Peace. I also want to appreciate this platform for this wonderful opportunity. And just in addition, just a continuation of where my brother, so focusing on this topic of today, youths and electioneering process in Nigeria. He has told us a lot about
Can you hear me?
yeah, we can hear you. The processes involved in electioneering process, but it's also good for we to also look at the age bracket that defines what a youth, defines youth is all about, so that we narrow down our discussion to a particular age bracket. And we know that different countries, United Nations, all have their own position in terms of definition for youth, and their country that of which we are part of, that's Nigeria, its own definition and the recommended recognized age bracket for youth. And if I'll just quickly just run down on just a few definitions.
Yeah.
Wikipedia, like in online media, will just tell you youth is that stage in life when one is young. There is no specific age bracket from their definition, but the time that one is young. And we have also seen that in our immediate society where, like in the area of the Niger Delta where they have a lot of agitation. Sometimes you even see people who are far above 50 years, very restive, in terms of their agitations and all that. Because at that age, they still feel they are active, they are young, and they are, vibrant enough to speak out, to advocate for what they feel is right in the society. While we have the United Nations also consider age bracket between 15 and 24 as for the purpose of statistics to define those who fall within the age bracket. The African Charter also define or recognize per se the age gap of 35, between 18 and 35. But in our country here, from 18 years and above, as amended by the 1999 Constitution, is eligible to vote. So if we are to confine ourselves by this, we have to now look at those people that fall within this age bracket that are parts are supposed to be part of electioneering process, the role they play and the impact of their role in the overall society. And I think Nigerian population itself, it's made up of a youth population, which has not really been unearthed, has not been unearthed. And coming to an election, participating in election, we tend to experience more of the negative effect of youth involvement than the positive effect, and that is what this platform is for. It's focused on to see how we can bring about inner re-engineering among the youth. When I say inner, in the sense that it's something that has to start from within, because many of the challenges that we have in electioneering process is as a result of youth not realizing the potentials they have and not understanding their very selves. And this has led to this process, because that means that all the things that are associated with electioneering process, like vote buying, that we experience in our country, corrupt, sharp practices, and per se, these things are prevalent, in any time that we have elections in this country, because there have been a lot of advocacy. Now the country, the president just signed youth, not too young to rule, yeah, not too young to rule. The president just put it into law. But if you look at it, sometimes because of this advocacy, INEC has involved youth to great extent, up to the extent of using youth corpers and youth bodies in the society, civil organizations in this process. But because it still falls down to this self-realization, these youths that we are talking about go to the to the various units where they are posted to. You still see them, experience these malpractices, all these sort of electoral malpractices, and so it only takes specific youth who understands what value is all about, who understand what willpower is all about, that will say, no, as long as my loyalty is to the unseen, I am not going to be moved by any of the any circumstances around me at this immediate point in time that I am officiating, or I'm an agent, or I'm a member of INEC. INEC deployed me to this unit. I will not be party to this. When this consciousness envelop the majority of the youth, we'll begin to talk about making progress. But when this self-consciousness of, let me just put it like that, awareness is not among the youth, and we still believe that it is what we get. Let's just go there, is what they give to us, is what we make out of this election, that they look at that as just temporal benefit, and it can do us no good. So our focus is making the youth understand the potentials they have, understanding that they have within them powers, they have within them what it takes, so they don't need to look down on themselves because somebody is contesting the election and the person is well-to-do and all that. So you should just immediately, just yield to their wrong quest in you aiding the process of them, manipulating election process. And when we have majority of the youth in the society that can stand out for this, we'll begin to make progress. So I think we are on track. Platform like this is a very good platform that will enable us to be able to educate and reorientate the mindset of our youth, to tell them that, look, it's not just about what you benefit at that time, but focus on the value that is within you. You have the power to create your reality. So it's not just about what this man will give to you at this point. Stand for what is right, and stand for the right thing. I think that's the way to go. So as the conversation continues, we'll continue to make give our contributions.
Wow, thank you so much, Engineer Efebo. You've said it like you really nailed it. It's not about the now, it's about the future. It's not about what they stand to gain now as a youth, it's about the future. Youth, I believe you're enjoying this program and you're also learning from it, because what YouthVoice Ambassadors is a platform that is being organized to, like he said, educate, reorientate, and inform the elder youth so that they will know where their powers lies. As a youth, I believe we have so much powers, and and we can change whatever thing we want to change if only we'll have the right information. So on this note, we are going to bring in our sister Joy to give us more insights on this topic. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Honorable.
We can
Thank you, Honorable. And I want to say thank you for giving me this opportunity this evening to be here. We're talking about youth and the electionary processes. First, we should understand that election is a decision-making process, and it's what determines the future of every country. Now, on the other hand, the youths are the larger part of the society. For every society, if you look around, you find out that about 60 to 70% of the society are made up of young people between the age of 18 to 40. And these are supposed to be the decision makers. But I think in this part of the world, as youth, we've not really understood the power we have as people, as a people. And I think that is more of the problem. Now, we're talking about involving youth in electoral processes. Now, the first question is, where are we involving them? What are they coming in to do? As a youth, if you're clamoring to be involved in an electoral process, what are you going there to do? Are you going there to make changes, or you're going there to continue to get your own part of the national cake, as it's being called? That's the first thing, the mindset. What are you going in there for? Now, when we look around, there are a lot of challenges facing the Nigerian youths. And these challenges are challenges that also have solutions. But the thing is, we focus so much on the challenges that we do not reason about the solutions. And as a result, we do not want to come out and get involved. Now, um, during elections, there are plenty processes involved, just like Mr. Gopin had said earlier. We have the pre-elections, we have the election proper, and we have the post-election. Now, you find out that during the pre-election period, there are stages in it. There is the intention, declaration, interest, statement of intent, and all of that. During this period, the youths are on low level of engagement. They are not properly engaged in this period. They are laid back. They do not go to communities to tell the community leaders that, okay, see, I'm interested in this position, and this is what I can offer. Because they usually say, okay, I do not have the money to sponsor this, and they become laid back. And as such, you have a low level of turnout for youths um, in those stages. But then when it comes to the time of campaign, you find out that the youths are on high level of engagement. Why? Because in this time they are being bought. The candidates begin to share 500, 1,000, and so on. And you find out that because of this money, you see a lot of youths being engaged. And now the problem is, most as I ask, for every 4 years, someone comes and gives you 5,000 naira, 1,000 naira to come out and campaign for him. And after then, you don't see him till another 4 years. Don't you think you're mortgaging your future? The problem is we do not even reason the future. We think about the now, the gratification for now, but it's not about now. It's about the future. It's about the things that we would get, but we sell them up because when they give you this 500 naira, this 1,000 naira, and when they get into the office, they will want to reclaim their money. They want to get back their money. It's like a business. I've invested and I have to make money back. So the problem is that our youth do not focus on things that will benefit their future. They prefer to mortgage their future over little money. Then, secondly, during the election process itself, the youth are used as thugs to snatch ballot boxes. At this point, you see a high level of engagement of the youths also. Then, when it comes to the elections proper and the post-election processes, where it comes with counting of the votes and all of that, who are also involved. These are youths. The corpers, the ad hoc staffs, they are youths. What happened at this point too? They mortgage their future because they are being paid and they are meant to do the dirty works of the politicians. As such, putting the youth at risk also. So at the end of the day, it's not like there are no opportunities for the youth to be involved. But the thing is that the youth have sold their place out for gratification of now. They've sold their place out, trying to make ends meet now and not thinking about the future. As such, they put us in a tight corner where we have to struggle to see how we can get there. Thank you.
Wow, that's a really wonderful one. Our sister Joy, you're talking about the youth already having a price tag during election, and after the election, they get left out and they are not able to, benefit from the person whom they have elected into office. So, youth, I believe you're learning from this. Try not to sell your vote for 500 naira, 500 naira. And I believe that's one of the reasons why some of these people they have managed to elect into office. At the end of the day, when they get there, they forget about even their own um, is it constitutional um, pro- projects that they are meant to do for their various constitutions, but they don't do that just because they believe they have used their money to buy the voters at the time of election. We want to call on our brother Gilpin to proceed with the impact of youth involvement in the election. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Peace. I want to also leverage on the fact that the youth in our society has so much powers to make changes in our nation. As a matter of fact, we need to realize that the youth are the largest demography in Nigeria. The youth are the vanguard of social change, which we do not realize, to my own opinion. And that I so much, I am very, very passionate about the fact that the youth of this, they need to look at themselves, realize themselves, and come back to make the needed changes in our society, especially when it has to do with our election, rather than being used at every election that comes. The quest however, the quest for hunger has also been an issue in our society, wherein our political leaders, instead of creating a good environment for the youth to be groomed, as they call us, the future leaders, instead of grooming us, they come up with a lot of principles to cripple our activities, wherein a situation where a particular set of youth can even come up with a programs to develop themselves to become future leaders. You can imagine how many funds is being allocated to the youth ministry in Nigeria. No, there is no development. There is no human capital development. They call us the future leaders of tomorrow, but they don't develop us. They don't do anything that can keep us in a stand to be able to lead tomorrow. They don't create employment for us. They don't even generate employment or work for us to even have a leverage to be able to do something. Every 4 years, they come to us, give us money, and because we are materialistic, we collect the money, and at the end of the day, we vote whoever that has given us money, and then we don't do the right thing. And so I am encouraging the youth to look at themselves, be strong, and to know that we are agents of change. For us to make a good decision, for us to make sure that we have a strong, formidable group to be able to make the necessary change in our country. We have all it takes to do that. And I'm encouraging the youth to vehemently do that for us. By the grace of God, at the end of this program, I believe strongly that our youth will be encouraged to partake in future elections as they come. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Gilpin. This is very wonderful. Youths are agents of change. This is really specific. This is really important for us to know that we are all agents of change. So it doesn't matter whether you are low or high, as long as you are a youth in Nigeria, just know that you are an agent of change. Thank you so much for that point. We want to call on Engineer Efrebo to continue from where he has stopped.
Thank you, Honorable Peace. The youths we are talking about in Nigeria, even among the youth, there is a great level of division, and that is why programs like this will enable us to have, a unified vision and focus. Because if you look at most of the victims of electoral violence is the youth. The youth are also used for all the manipulations that are done oftentimes whenever election take place. I myself have been, talking from experience, being a one-time aspirant and a candidate of a major political party in Nigeria in 2015 when I contested for Rivers State House of Assembly to represent my constituency. I had a lot of experience because coming from a particular background, I discovered that I have to play by the rules. I have to play by the books. But that's not the way the society, our immediate society, have structured it. And because it's all goes down to awareness, self-awareness, like I keep saying, self-awareness. Because if you go to the north, if you go to the south, to the east, for every political office holder, you have a particular category of youth that support that politician. So at the end of the day, it's just all about youth and just youth. Because who are the people that does all the social media canvassing and fight and all that? It's youth. And at every point in time, you see that these youths how will I put it? They have they are, towing towards a particular direction, either giving their support to a particular candidate, maybe for the purpose of, the person being from their region or the person being a direct, or friend or for whatsoever. So many of these purposes, many of these reasons why youth support candidates or a party is not anchored on philosophy. It's not anchored on values. It's not anchored on the real ideals that ought to define a stable and growing society. And our attention will have to, go into harnessing these youths, harnessing the understanding of these youth to know that, look, whether you are from the north, you are from the east, you are from the west, there is just one consciousness that we can have. If our consciousness is towards ideal state, state of, or a country, we should all look towards, credibility. We should look towards accountability. Now, it doesn't mean that, there's this idea that because I am passionate about maybe a particular political party, if any member of the political party do something wrong, that I know that is against, every political democratic principle, I will defend that person. That is one thing that is going, in the psychology of our youth. They just believe that once you are a member of a particular political party, whether right or wrong, you must always support that political party. Yes, that's true, but it doesn't end there. So we need to understand the powers that we have within us to be able to harness these powers towards affecting our immediate society. So we know very well that our involvement matters a lot as youth in electioneering process. Our involvement matters a lot in the sense that, like for instance, I contested the election. My local government, like I always, is one of the most rigorous, the difficult local government to campaign, because basically all the major communities where you can get your votes, block votes, are all apart. You have to drive considerable distance, ride on a considerable on the boat, that's on the water for considerable distance. And you can imagine, after going through all this, now after the election, we see that even your fellow candidate, what about when it comes to the point where the person who is the two candidates that are contesting are also youths? They are within the bracket, youth bracket. So you can see that this is not just about the election per se, but it's about a value problem which has to be tackled from the foundation. We have to start from our foundation to reorientate our youth, because we are having a constant deteriorating society in terms of morality, in terms of ideals, in terms of philosophy. We don't have all this in our society. We just come out and then anybody that we are just experimenting. We're experimenting because even political parties should be based on philosophy. Political parties should be based on ideology. And if I have, like the way they have in America, conservatives and liberals, these are what define it. It is a value system. I haven't heard where somebody who is a conservative all of a sudden become a liberal. He may support the policies of a liberal government, but doesn't mean that he himself becomes a liberal. If that policy at that point in time is advantageous to the development of the country, they support it, and everybody has his own choice to freely express their interest. So politics in Nigeria and electioneering process in Nigeria is still very complex, because we have not even 70%, 99% of the activities of the electioneering process involve youths. And so we have to focus on these youths, understanding who they are. Let's say, for instance, now, when a youth, realizes that a political aspirant can give them 1 million, and they know that 1 million, they can have it within themselves. They know that they can create that 1 million without depending on that political godfather or whoever. They will have that independence, that independent mindset, and they'll be bold about it. So it will be difficult, and this is the kind of consciousness that we must allow to spread among the community of our youth. As long as these issues are not tackled, this reorientation, we have National Reorientation Agency. I don't know, how well that agency is equipped in reorientating our youth. It does not just boil down to just, be a good citizen, shun violent. No, it doesn't just boil down to that place, to all that. Yes, that is okay. It's advantageous for us, but the youth must realize the powers and the potentials they have. They must realize the powers and the potentials in their imagination, in their mind, the powers they have to create the reality that they face. Because the space is too large for everybody. The space is too large for everybody to benefit, for everybody. At the way you think about the society, that is how so you become a willing tool if you don't understand this and you're not awakened by all these things. So at every point in time, you're carried away with all the information that goes around you. When they come, they tell you lies, you believe it, you get agitated, and all that. So I think basically it's important for we to constantly focus on re-engineering the mindset of our youth, to understand, to begin to have loyalty. Their loyalty should be to the unseen, not to the seen. That to say that if they have the mindset that, look, tomorrow I'll be great, I'll be better, I can have this money, so why should I then be a slave, a temporal slave to just my temporal desire, and then somebody else will now be using it as a willing tool to control me. And that's the reason. So over 70% of our youth is like they are sleeping, they are dreaming, they are animated, they are working, but they are like in a dream state, and anytime election time comes, it's a moment to make short-time benefits, and they go and play their role. The people, the politicians, they write the scripts, and then we play the role. Some of the youths who do not like it will just stay outside and observe as spectators. But some other youths are in the are playing their own character. The characters that the writers of these scripts, define for them to write. So from this day on, I want to advise our youth to stop acting the characters that are being scripted by politicians. They should write their own story in their own imagination. They should design their own state in which they want to participate. When they create that state, they become characters in their own state that they create. My state is, if I look at it, I say, look, my will is priceless. My intentions, my will is priceless. And if my will is priceless, it remains priceless. Whether I see 100 million naira today or I see 200 million naira, I'm not going to sell my will because, there is nothing as good. I know very well that I may not have that as at now, but I know that I have the potentials to achieve that. That alone gives me a consolation mind, you understand? So it doesn't just boil down to we just saying shun violence, shun malpractices. What will make you not to aid sharp practices during the electionary process is you knowing who you are, knowing yourself, knowing the values that is within. So our attention will focus more on the inner engineering of our youths until this consciousness takes, envelope, at least more than 90% of our youth population. Then we'll begin to see that by default, everything will keep, falling in place. Thank you.
Wow, this is very, very wonderful. Very educative and inspiring. Youth, we need to understand that your will should be priceless. If only we will know that our will are priceless as youth of Nigeria, and Nigeria is known to be the giant of Africa. So it is time for us as youth to rise up and demand for good governance. Don't let any person to buy your conscience. Don't go and carry guns for anybody, because at the end of the day, you lose what you're supposed to get. It is time for us to look at credibility as opposed to the highest bidder.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, Engineer Frebo, and thank you for sharing your experience with us. We hope to learn more. We still have lots of time on our side, so we are going to call on our sister Joy to continue from where she has stopped.
Thank you very much, Efrebo, for your beautiful analysis. Well, the thing is, I think the problem we have is that youths haven't come to self-realization. Our youths have to come to self-realization. They have to realize that they are the instrument for social change. They have to understand that they have the power to establish the nation. They have the power in them to kind of move this nation to what they want it to be. And until that happens, we will still be here. Now, first and foremost, the thing is, I think we need to have a clear vision. Youth need to have a clear vision of what they want, where they want to be, and where they are going. This is very, very important, because the reason why you are being bought, the reason why you can sell, why you have a price tag, is because you do not realize where you're going. If you know where you're going, you will put a tag on yourself first, such that anybody that comes cannot buy you off. If you see your future and you know that your future is at stake, you know that if you accept this money today, you are sabotaging your future and that of your unborn children. You will make yourself unbuyable. So we have to come to self-realization. And then secondly, as youth, we are clamoring to be in power. But then there's a problem. We have a problem on mentorship. A lot of youths are blind followers. They are not following to learn. They are following to enrich themselves. And that is why the old people keep coming back, because when they look behind, those that have been following them, they have learned nothing. Now, let's use our River State as a very good example. The likes of the Honorable Minister of Transport, Right Honorable Chibike Amechi, he was a speaker when he was 34. The likes of our governor, His Excellency Ezebonwoye Sowike, he was a chairman when he was less than 34. And they are still the ones in power till today. And why so? Because when they were there, they watched their predecessors and they learned. And they showed they showed their predecessors that they have learned something, they had something to offer. And that was why their predecessors were able to open ways and make ways for them to come in. We lack mentorship. We're not ready to stay under people and learn. Yes, sometimes you might not agree with the person's policy, but because you want to know how it works, you want to understand how these policy things play out, you can stay humble under that person and you learn those things. And when it comes to the ones you don't agree with, you tell that boss, see, this and this and this, I do not agree. It doesn't mean that you must agree to everything that your mentor says. We have to learn to get mentors and then learn from them. Then another big challenge I think we have is capacity building. As youths, we are tools for violence, tools for thuggery. We have not built ourselves well enough to be seen, to be heard, to be useful. Every youth should take it upon themselves. Yes, you've gone to school, but if we look very well at Nigerian educational system, it doesn't educate you, it schools you. It doesn't give you the ability to critically think. It only teaches you facts to help you find a job. Now it is your place to sit down and build yourself. If you want to be in politics, then you should begin to read books about great politicians, their philosophy, what made them tick and what made them think. How did they succeed? What are their characters? A big problem that we have in Nigeria is fact integrity. We lack integrity. Every Nigeria is looking for a place where to get money and satisfy their hunger right now. Nigerian youths, that's what they are doing. You give someone a job, he's looking for how to rob the system in order to feed themselves. Everybody is looking for the little way, like the fast way out, and nobody wants to work diligently. And this is a big problem because you do not have integrity, because you do not even believe in yourself, because you cannot be trusted. Nobody wants to trust you and nobody wants to give you a place. As a Nigerian youth, if you want a place, you will earn it. How do you earn it? You begin to show people that you have integrity. You begin to show people that you are capable. You begin to show people that I can do this. This is what I have upstairs. And then another thing I think that happens is the diversion. The youth are being diversed. What do I mean by diversion? You find out that because, like now, right now, we're all clamoring for change. We are all on social media. We are here making noise. We are loud on social media. We are vocal on social media. We're all, in fact, our voices are so loud on social media. But then it's not about being on social media. How do we bring them to ground performance? How do we come down to reality? How do we bring all of this our vocality to begin to make things to work? Now, if you look around, because they know that we are all clamoring for change, they have made policies that makes it to become like almost difficult for a youth to participate. In an electoral process, you need to buy a form. How much are the forms? 2 million, 5 million, 3 million. How many youths can afford this money? They begin to make it so difficult. They make rules and regulations that begin to handicap us. And this is the place where we have to harness on our strengths, collaborate, come together, and look for a way out. If, let's say, for instance, like in Youth Voice Ambassador, we know that Mr. Goodpin has integrity. We know that he can deliver the promises that he has made. We can all rally around him and see how we can raise this fund and collaborate with him to see how we bring his vision to come to pass. So I think the problem is the youth have to realize who they really are and then make clear visions of where they want to be, set their goals properly, and then they can take over. As we continue, maybe we will bring up, there will be more things to talk about. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much, Aderes Joy, the medical stroke political lab scientist. you have clearly stated it. Mentorship. I strongly agree.
Sure.
Mentorship is one thing we learn as youths. That is very profound. So I was even thinking where we can organize a program and look for meaningful Nigerians, like the likes of Gilpin, like the likes of Engineer Efrebo, whose loyalty has been tested, tried and tested, and has been confirmed that he is one. They are people of high, integrity, and see how they can mentor our youth. In fact, let me be honest. One of the aims of this Youth Voice Ambassador is for mentorship. We have lots of people with high characters in the group. So want to urge everyone, if you're not yet a member of Youth Voice Ambassador, we need you to be there. We learn a lot of things, not only entrepreneurship skills, not only about politics. We learn about personal development, which our sister has also mentioned, via the capacity building and all of that. So hope you're enjoying this program. We want you to also drop your comments and ask any question you want to ask. So just before I call on Gilpin, there is a question that came through my phone. So I'm going to throw it out there for any of the three speakers to answer. The question, it has two questions. Number one says, with a high rate of unemployment youth in Nigeria, and most youth are from low-income homes, and the forms for electoral positions are expensive, how can the youth get funds? That's number one. And can political parties reduce the price of forms for electable positions so ordinary persons can get this form? That's question one and A and B. So does anyone have any response to these questions? I can
Okay,
take it.
Yeah.
I would like to talk about the first question. Just like what I mentioned here, it's like a strategy to make the youths not to be out there putting these forms high. Now, like what I said, this is where the power of collaboration comes. This is where we harness on the power, on the strength of our numbers. If I can vouch for you, if I know that you're a person of integrity, if I know that you're someone who, when you go there, you're not going to forget about the struggle and then do the norms, we can rally around as youths, put our resources together and get a form for this person, because we know that person is going to represent us. But it is because of lack of trust. That is why it's like everybody like, I beg, if I bring my money and after doing this, when you go there, you'll be like the other people. And it's like everybody is backing up. As youth, we can do this. All we need is to be sure that this person has what it takes. And when this person goes there, he or she is going to be fighting for the youth. It's going to be about the youth agenda. And you find out that there will be people who will raise this fund and sponsor and push you. And then there is talking about political party. It's not really about political party. I think from the Not Too Young to Run Act, you can
Independent
run as an
candidate.
independent
Candidate.
candidate.
Yeah.
As an independent candidate, you don't need to buy any form from any political party. All you need to do is the INEC registration. So at that, you have to go for, say, as in by court, the huge sum that you have to pay to the political party in order to register yourself. So if you think that you are out there and you have all it takes, you can come in as a private candidate, independent candidate, and then youth will rally around you and bring their resources together and they will push you forward. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much for
Okay.
responding to that question, Joy. So
Okay.
I think
Okay. In addition to what she has said, it's part of our advocacy, and I believe that the Not Too Young to Run Act also has covered answered some of these questions, because we are also advocating that electoral, cost of procuring forms should be made to its barest minimum, and encouraging independent candidate, see. But there's another thing that we need to also get very straight. You understand? One of the problems that we've been having is having career politicians. Politics shouldn't be a career. It should be a selfless service. We have some, that's why most of our leaders, because we have leaders that they take the advantage they get from the state, and then oftentimes become entrepreneurs. They take from the state and establish. But when we begin to look at independent youth who have been able to single out themselves to become entrepreneurs despite the nature of this economy, watch out for such youths. When they are able to grow an enterprise to a certain level without the effort of the government, without the effort of any startups, without the effort of any immediate community, they strive. Then such youth have a lot to offer. When they take a leave from their enterprise and go into politics, they perform better than any individual who starts as a politician and all the career is, my profession is politics. From one level to one level until you are of age, you are still a politician because you've not even had the time to manage people at a little level. So among Nigerian youths, we know that we have a lot of youths that we are proud of, who have singled out themselves, and they are doing well in their various endeavors. They've created, startups, developed it to a certain level, and then also work with the government at where necessary, where they need to contribute their role. So the essence of all this is not for youth in the course of doing your advocacy, you rain insult on government, you have disdain about the country, you say all sort of things. You are only harming yourself. You're only harming yourself. Because at the end of the day, it is what you are creating within your mind, and you continue to be in that reality. But in this same system, people are being favored because they believe they see only positivity. They see only, yes, that doesn't mean that the economy is not hard, things are not difficult. But I'm saying is that the process should start from within. And the Nigerian government has also realized that we have problem with our educational curriculum. That's the reason why entrepreneurship is being enshrined into university curriculum now. Even if you're doing engineering, there is entrepreneurial knowledge for you. Because we've come to realize that the kind of educational system that we inherited from our colonial masters does not enable us to be thinkers. It just makes us to be depending on, before somebody say, I want to go and study petroleum engineering in the university, the person has it in his mind that, my community is a host community. I want to work in the oil and gas industry. But they don't put the idea of solving problems. Why you have a child in the Western world will be inquisitive to say, I want to know why this plane is flying and the principles behind it. That's my interest. And they'll put all their passion and energy towards that. And believe me, you can't compare that individual and the person who wants to just, know petroleum engineering just to working in Shell or in any other company. So this boils down to the kind of educational system we have. It doesn't empower us to be thinkers, to be problem solvers. And that's why it all boils down to reorientation. It all boils down to education. Now, the society as it is, everything is joined together. The engineers can actually create solutions that will involve the non-engineers, that can engage the non-engineers, that will even engage the people who are not literate in our immediate society. Likewise, other people who create opportunities. So it boils down to the power that is within us for the youth to realize that they have power with effortlessly. You can create a reality if they understand this education, that it's not just about putting their energy, because the society is programmed. Every day you come out, you are ready to see news, bad news, good news. You are ready. You will keep hearing it. You will keep hearing and it keep affecting your emotions. You come up in the morning, you turn on your television. Oh, there is a bomb blast somewhere, or there is one problem somewhere. Why don't we take our time to prune our art, prune, the society, the way we want it to be within our mind? When we have higher number of people who are conscious of this fact and can prune Nigeria and begin to picture and see it as a great nation, it will gradually affect the consciousness of other people within the society. I think that is what is left for us to do, because we can't actually play this. We can't actually play the script of other people, what they are doing at the moment, because they are playing their own script. But we should avoid them writing a script for us to play, a character in their own script, because it cannot do us any good. So I am saying what I'm trying to say is that education is important, and not just education, not just being literate, but understanding the value of education, on understanding, like I keep saying that I've been reading books. Most times when I read Western books, I don't even see the connection between what they are trying to teach to how I can solve practical problem. There is no real-time practical solution. But whenever I read books that are authored by Indians, I see the reality. I see the reality of how I can construct most of these things, that how most of these theories that have been generated, have been, developed, can be used to solve practical problem. And if you don't solve problem, you cannot create wealth. You cannot create a solution. If you don't have solution, you can't create, because it is through creating solution that you generate wealth and opportunity. So we as youth, before you said somebody want to contest election, look at the person and said, what is the impact of this person outside politics first before he came into politics? Somebody said, I am a speaker, I am this, and I'm all your life. I'm probably maybe say I am a local government chairman or a councillor, from councillor to minister, from minister, just like that. And then you now get the benefit you get from the state. You now go and establish businesses and all that. Quite, it's okay. Some of them, they take this thing and take abroad and go and do them. No problem. But what I'm trying to say, that the youth, we should be focusing on youth who can develop enterprise on their own, have the ability to create. Some of them create social media to mentor people. It's something. So with this, we'll be able to point out characters that, people that have that trait, that can become good leaders, because outside politics, they are not jobless or per se. So when you said, I don't have money, I want to get a pick form to contest, what is the intent? Are you just picking that form because you want to change your economy? You want to change your situation? Is that the reason you want to pick the form? Then definitely you pick the form and we'll still be in the same problem. What I'm saying is that if that is the impression you have, that you want to better your economy, even without getting into politics, you can actually achieve it outside politics. And then whenever you now come to say you want to pick a form to go into government, then we know that passion and love towards nation building is your driving force. At that point, even nature will assist you. Everything, everybody around you will assist you, and you get to that level. Thank you.
Wow, this is really wonderful. Every youth, thank you, Engineer Frebo. Thank you. Every youth, you have answered the question like absolutely. Every youth should have an intent towards contesting for an election. You're very correct. I remember growing up during my time when I wanted to contest for an election. I was on the line of becoming a chartered accountant before I got distracted by politics. I also want to note it here that politics in itself, if you want to build a career, a professional career, would be a distraction to anyone, to any youth who intends to be part of it. We are still in the learning process. We are having beautiful comments from all over the world, all over the world, I believe, and a lot of people are still asking lots of questions that I'm going to be reading out soon. So in line with what you have just said, entrepreneurship, that is really correct. Like here in the UK, they have different categories on how they place their kids. If they look at a kid from primary school age, and they observe that this person does not have that academic prowess, they try to put them back to where they could learn something. It could be mechanic, it could be electrician, they could be electricians and all of that. They have special skills for those children who are not academically sound. And I believe, bringing entrepreneurship to the curriculum of Nigeria is one good step towards, building a better nation. So we must really appreciate them for the what they are doing right now, for what the leaders are doing right now. So we want to call on Mr. Gilpin to throw more light on the question before we move on to the next one.
More or less like the hard truth. If you don't have money to buy the form, just like the question was asked. If you don't have the money to buy the form right now, and if you have intention to contest for any election in the nearest future, look for a job immediately. I believe that before people start coming to contribute for you, in my place they say kanayanabo tatare kanadorubare. It means that you that have the vision to contest for election should be able to have the resources to take the first step. And so, for instance, when I wanted to contest for the IYC election, I made sure that I work out the money for the form before people started coming to help me contribute. But even the contributions were not enough, because when we get to the field, it was a different ball game. Our youths were ready to collect money. They were very materialistic, and the highest bidder won the race, which is indeed a very bad political culture that have been developed in our country.
Yeah.
Going forward, I want to talk about political culture. Our Nigerian society has structured our political culture to be so bad that we have a culture of thuggery and violence. We have a political culture that is filled with godfatherism. Please let us not mix mentorship and godfatherism. Mentorship is different from godfatherism. Godfatherism is indeed the negative aspect of mentorship. In our today society, we have godfatherism rather than mentors. A godfather will want you to be loyal down from the point of purchasing a form to when you get to the office. He will definitely want to detect what you will do in the office, thereby putting aside the vision you have for a nation, a state, or a local government. Godfatherism has been a very bad taunt in our brains and in our polity. And so, as youth, we should come together to fight and take away the issue of godfatherism in our system. I think that is one of the things that the Youth Voice Ambassador should clamor about. And I believe that every member of this group, and for those who will be encouraged to join this group, should, one way or the other, work against godfatherism. As a matter of fact, as a youth, we should be driven with vision, should be driven with nation building, we should be driven with credibility in elections and in electionary process. I believe that if member of this group, and for those, I believe that if we go by these tenets, we will definitely be the change that we truly want. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much, Mr. Gilpin. In fact, talking about the end of godfatherism, I'm not trying to blow anyone's trumpet. That is one good thing I like about His Excellency, Right Honorable Chibuike Amici. I remember when he was the governor of Rivers State, he did quite a lot of things, irrespective of the fact that a lot of the so-called people who wanted to be godfather were really offended. He didn't mind any of that because he was focused on building the state and making it a better place. So he even he 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 sort of, ignored anyone who wanted to come impose himself as a godfather, which That is why one of the things I admire about him is that's godfatherism. That's something I believe if every political figurehead will adopt in our nation, it's going to help us, because some of these leaders tend to overlook people who have the right potentials to lead. But because they are not loyal to them, they don't let them come in to become leaders. So I I strongly agree with you. The issue of godfatherism has to stop. But at the same time, every youth that wants to be a leader must be a good follower. So if you're not a good follower, you cannot be a good leader. But that brings us back to the issue of mentorship. Yes, you can mentor me as a youth, but not to dictate the pace in the process of mentoring me. If I'm not qualified to be there, don't send me there. Let someone who is qualified to be there go there and represent us. And it is time for youth to also begin to stand honestly to themselves, in addition to everything we have said. We have just one more question before we do our final roundup. There's been an alert for 20 minutes more remaining. So this question is, are the current rulers ready to relinquish power to the youth? Are the current rulers ready to relinquish power to the youth? For example, a person moved from governor to House of Reps to Senate. Is it proper? Most youths are indoctrinated and used through ethic and cultural lines. How can there be a reorientation? At least that's what we've been talking about here. Reorientation.
Okay. Let me come in here. Let me come here to start by saying that the current leaders are not ready to relinquish power. It is the youth that will come together, just like Joy said. We need to come together. We need to reorientate ourselves. These people are not ready to leave power for us. We need to come together because we have the numbers. We have the numbers. If we come together, put our acts together, we will definitely get some persons that believe in us and put them in government. These people will not relinquish power to the youth. So the youth must come up, and the essence of this program, like I said, is to reawaken the minds of the youth so that we come together, take the bull by the horn, make sure that we get into politics, and make sure that at the end of the day, we are there at the decision-making period and make sure that we take power. For me, they are not ready. We must take it. It is our right. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We'll be informed that we've got 20 minutes. So this next round will be for everyone to drop their rounding up speech before we log out for the day. We are going to continue the part 2 of this youth and electioneering process next week. So just in case you do not get everything all right according to the questions, if we're not able to answer your questions, please know that we're going to be live online next week, the same time. Thank you. So, who's up?
Okay. All right. So, hello. Am I on?
Yes, please.
Okay. So, just my addition to the question is that we have to constantly continue to engage our government, because democracy is an evolving thing. We are all in an evolving. We are just evolving from one level to another. Before now, there wasn't social media, and I can tell you, social media has also been a very contributing tool to our democratic development, and the youths are more in the use of this tool. So for me, yes, the current leaders are not ready, but it's not about the leader. The president has already signed a policy, that's the act, not too young. Over time, I believe that as we are evolving, definitely this awareness will spread. And then we'll clamor that, okay, definitely we are all going to work towards allowing youth, credible youth. Because even among the youth, we have rotten youth, so credible youth to be able to occupy reasonable government position, to be able to go in there and create policies that will drive the economy towards development. So for me, I think that strengthening our institutions, the youth ministry, strengthening our institutions. If the government is not doing it, like as we are doing now, there is a level at which this body is going to, be. There's a level we will get to that we can create our own economy. We can even have sponsor our own banks. You understand, and help youth. When you are giving, you are impacting into the life of youth, whether you like it or not. Let that youth be from the north, as long as he knows that there is this connection, there is this impact you're creating. Whether let it be from the east, we'll all have that one mind. Let's, channel our energy towards the vision that is ahead of us, and not relent. We are in an evolving process. If we try to bring drastic change immediately, we will even, face consequences. But so we're in a learning process. Nigerian democracy is about over 16 years now. We are still evolving, and I think that the whole process is all we are evolving. So while we are evolving, let it be that our constant engagement continues, our education reorientation continues. We keep contributing our own quota, as to our immediate community, then to the larger country. So we are not going to relent in doing that, and I think that that is the way to go. We keep on any tools that we have, social media, this medium. We are going to use every tool within our disposal to make sure that we pass this message until we get it right. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that summary or response to the question you have given. We need to get it right, and we will have to use every tools, every apparatus within our reach, by all means, to get it right in Nigeria. Well done, Engineer Efrebo, for that. Joy, have you got, can you hear us?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
good.
I can
So we
hear you.
want to hear your own comment on that.
We've all been talking, and it's been an interesting time. But I want to end by saying that we have to move from the downward stream to the upward stream. What do I mean by that? We have to stop being tools and instruments in the hands of our oppressors and become active participants in electoral matters. We have to use every tool, just like Efrebo has said, that is available to us. The social media, the media houses, televisions, whatever channel that's available. We have to talk. We have to be vocal. Not just about being vocal. We have to think of how to bring them into grand movements. And we have to harness on our strength as people, as a population, knowing that we are the strength of the nation. We have to harness on our numbers to make impact. As youth too, we must have to pay the price. See, these leaders, they are not ready to leave the office. They are not. They have the money, they have the influence, and they know the game. So we have to stop being tools and pay the price. And what do I mean by paying the price? We have to stop looking at stipends. We have to stop looking for immediate gratification. And we have to start thinking of the future. We have to invest in ourselves. We have to develop ourselves. We have to make ourselves indispensable. We have to add values to our lives. We have to be available so that we can take over. We must also focus on what the candidate has to offer than what he has to give to us. What are his prospects? Who is this candidate? Not how much can he bring. What is he saying? Listen to his manifesto. Look at his activities from time past. What positions has he held? What has he been able to do? How has he been able to impact on his immediate environment? before you vote people into office, not thinking of how much we can get from him. If we keep doing all of this, we will bring about the change we are clamoring for. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I believe. Okay, Gilpin, you have your own summary.
Yes,
And
I, I want to summarize by telling a story. A particular woman who was very intelligent was doubted by her people. A set of youths gathered themselves and went to her with a small bed in their hand. And they asked the woman, Madam, you are very intelligent. Tell us, the bird in our hand, is it dead or alive? The woman looking at them very keenly, knowing fully well that if she said the bird was alive, they will squeeze their hand, kill the bird before they open their hands. If she say the bird was dead, they will open their hands and debunk her that she is saying lies. She looked at them keenly and told them that the answer to your question is in your hands. And today, I am telling the youths all over the world that the answer to the quest for good governance is in our hands. The answer to stop thuggery in our election is in our hands. The answer to stop all form of malpractice and corruption is in our hands. I believe that we will know that and take it to the next level to change our society. Thank you very much.
She's this thing is muted though.
I can't hear you. Your mic is muted.
sorry, I was. So, youth, we have heard it from Gilpin, what he has said, that the answer to good governance is in our hands. Whatever we want to make out of it, this is the right time to sit up and do that. So, Ejia, have you rounded up?
Okay,
What
for me, I
kind of
think okay,
enjoy
okay,
has rounded up,
okay.
have you?
Let me just in 2 minutes. Let me just okay. For me, I think for the youths all over there, you have to believe in yourself. Everything in this life that you desire exists within you. If you can exercise your body, exercise your mind and your imagination, when you start to do that, believe in me, everything, all the lifestyle that you desire, you need, will drop into the heights of your understanding to get things right. You will not wait for the second person or another, you will not look up to another person. So believe in yourself, be bold, believe in yourself, constant. Thank God today we have YouTube. Educate yourself. Educate yourself. YouTube is an open university. The knowledge you don't have money to acquire, you can acquire it freely on YouTube. Educate yourself, refine your mind. And believe in me, whatever the economy does will not be a concern to you in reality. You will create your own economy out of unstable economy. That will enable, and when you are there, don't criticize the other youth. Think of how to bring out that youth from the state in which he's also operating. I think that is what I will tell us. Everything, all
Wow.
potential exists within us. I wish you the best in the journey of your life and believe that together we'll make this country a great nation. Thank you.
Wow, very powerful. Believe in yourself, educate yourself. Youths, educate your mind, refine your mind. Engineer has told us there is a universal free education on YouTube. So whatever thing you want to learn, please go to YouTube and learn. In as much as we are advocating for youth governance, we also want to, for good governance, we also want to encourage ourselves to develop ourselves personally, so that if paraventure they said, why is this group, people should bring some youths to represent in different states, we will be proud to say, look at this youth, they are well equipped both morally and educationally. Please do well to educate yourself wherever you are. It is very important. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Just one final note, and this is to our viewers. I want you, we've got prizes for everyone. I want you to do a video of what 5 things you have learned out of this meeting and post it to our youth ambassadors social media handles, and the most liked and the most shared will receive a very awesome gift, lasting gift from the Youth Voice Ambassadors. Thank you so much. Joy, do you have anything to say to the youth just before we go?
All I have to say is we should all remain focused, steadfast, and put our strength, knowing that everything we want is within us. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. This is the end of the program. We want to wish you a very good, today is Friday, Thursday, weekend ahead. And while you're enjoying your weekend,
Yeah.
please try well to educate yourself in summary of all what we have said. See you next week, the same time, the same venue. And thank you all for sharing this program on your various platforms. God bless
Thank
you all.
you. Thank
God bless you, Engineer Frebo. I'm so
Thank
proud
you.
of you. I'm so proud of you. I look forward to, I'm so happy that you're part of us, and I look forward to, other youths working with you in the future as well as a mentor to
you.
them. Engineer,
It's a pleasure.
Mr. Gilpin, I've always looked up to you. You're one of those youths that we are always proud of. In the future, we look forward for everyone on this platform to represent the youth in State House of Assembly, in House of Reps, or as even governors. So we're not too young
Yeah.
to run as, in any position. And our sister Joy, I know this is one
Thank
of the
you. Thank
passions
you.
you've always had in your mind. This is your dream. And we pray together we will make it come to pass. Thank you so much for your time and effort, for your wonderful and and educating contributions you've been making to this Youth Voice Ambassadors platform. We pray that God will bless each and every one of us as we go
Thank
about
you.
our daily businesses in Jesus' name.
Amen.
Amen.
Thank
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 you.
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 Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. See you next
Bye.
Bye.
time.
Uh,